I got food poisoning from eating this cheese.
I never thought cheese could hurt me. For years it was my comfort food, a little slice with crackers before bed, a sprinkle on every meal. I told myself, it's just cheese. It's harmless. But then one day I woke up with swollen ankles. My blood pressure was through the roof. And at my next checkup, my doctor looked me in the eye and said, "Your arteries are showing early signs of calcification." I was shocked. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I walk every morning. And yet, it turned out one simple mistake in the cheese aisle was quietly raising my cholesterol, stiffening my arteries, and putting me on the fast track to heart disease. Worse, I later learned, some of the cheeses I trusted most could even increase your risk of cancer. That was the moment I knew. I had to find out the truth. Which cheeses actually protect your health after 60? And which ones quietly destroy it? Today, I'm sharing what I learned the hard way. 4 cheeses that can heal your heart, your bones, and even your brain. And 4 that could silently raise your blood pressure, wreck your gut, and cut years off your life. But before we begin, let me know in the comments, what's the one cheese you eat the most? I'll be reading and replying to every comment personally. But here's the good news. Once I understood what was silently hurting me, I also discovered that cheese doesn't have to be the enemy. In fact, the right kinds of cheese can actually heal, protecting your arteries, strengthening your bones, calming inflammation, even sharpening your memory. So, let me share the 4 cheeses I switched to, and how they quietly turned my health around after 65. When my doctor told me my arteries were starting to calcify, I panicked. I didn't smoke, I walked every morning, and I thought I was eating healthy. That's when I learned about aged Gouda. Aged for 18 months or more, this cheese is packed with a nutrient I'd never even heard of before, vitamin K2. And do you know what K2 does? It's like a traffic cop for calcium in your body. It tells calcium, don't go to the arteries, go to the bones where you belong. I started eating just a small cube of aged Gouda each afternoon. No more plastic-wrapped slices. No more processed cheese. Within months, my blood work improved, my calcium markers stabilized, and even my doctor was surprised. Even better is how it helps digestion. During aging, Gouda's proteins break down into smaller, easier-to-absorb forms called peptides, and the long fermentation process creates beneficial compounds called postbiotics, which soothe inflammation in the gut and even improve your mood. These studies have shown that seniors with higher vitamin K2 intake have up to 50% less arterial calcification and significantly stronger bones. Just 1 ounce of aged Gouda can give you 75 micrograms of K2, more than most people get in an entire week. And here's a little tip. Let it sit at room temperature before eating. That's when the nutrients become more bioavailable, and the flavor becomes so much richer. I pair it with a few apple slices or whole grain crackers. It's a small, delicious ritual that feels like medicine in disguise. I used to sprinkle that fake Parmesan from the green can over everything. But then I learned that wasn't real Parmesan at all. It was mostly fillers and preservatives. When I switched to authentic Parmesan Reggiano, aged for 24 to 32 months, I felt the difference in just weeks. My digestion was smoother. My knees didn't ache as much climbing stairs. And my evening anxiety eased up. Here's why. Real Parmesan is packed with highly bioavailable calcium. About 330 milligrams per ounce. More than a glass of milk. But unlike milk, the calcium comes in the perfect ratio with magnesium and phosphorus, so your body can actually absorb it. Italian researchers found the bioavailability of calcium from Parmesan Reggiano is nearly 100%, compared to just 30% from most calcium supplements. It also contains natural compounds called casomorphins. They're small peptides that help calm your nervous system, reduce anxiety, and even promote better sleep. I didn't expect that from cheese, but it worked. The best way I've found to enjoy it is the Italian way. Break it into small chunks with a knife, don't grate it. I eat it after dinner, maybe with a drop of aged balsamic vinegar. It helps digestion, gives a light protein boost, and feels like a small gift to my body after a long day. Every morning I used to wake up with stiff fingers and aching wrists. My wife said it was just part of getting older, but I refused to accept that. Then I learned about grass-fed raw cheddar. Properly aged raw cheddar from grass-fed cows is loaded with conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA, and omega-3 fatty acids. These are powerful anti-inflammatory nutrients. Within a month of swapping my regular cheddar for this, my morning stiffness started to fade. Here's the key difference. Raw cheddar isn't pasteurized, so it keeps all the beneficial enzymes and probiotics intact. Those probiotics support your gut health, boost your immunity, and even improve mental clarity through something called the gut-brain axis. It's also rich in vitamin K2 in the MK4 form, the most potent type for preventing calcium buildup in arteries. And because the cows are grass-fed, the cheese naturally has higher levels of vitamin A, D, E, and beta-carotene, antioxidants that protect your cells from aging damage. I never heat it too much because temperatures above 120 degrees Fahrenheit destroy the probiotics. I just let it come to room temperature for 20 minutes and enjoy it with a few fermented pickles or sauerkraut. It's like creating a probiotic powerhouse right on your plate. After 65, I started forgetting little things. Where I put my keys, a neighbor's name, what I walked into a room for. It scared me. Then I discovered Swiss Gruyère, made from raw milk from cows grazing on alpine meadows. This cheese is special because the bacteria used to make it create propionic acid, which reduces inflammation, lowers cholesterol, and even helps prevent certain types of cancer. But what really makes Gruyère powerful for seniors is its effect on the brain. It's rich in compounds that help your body produce glutathione, the master antioxidant that protects your brain cells from damage as you age. Swiss studies show elderly people who eat Gruyère regularly maintain muscle mass better and have lower blood pressure. I can't say it turned me 20 years younger, but I do feel sharper, calmer, more like myself again. I love melting a thin slice gently into warm soup or eating it with whole grain bread. It feels comforting, but I know it's also doing something good for my heart and my mind. So yes, the right cheese can heal. I've felt it myself. Lighter legs, stronger joints, calmer nights. But here's the truth I didn't want to face for years. Before I found these 4 lifesavers, I was eating the wrong ones every single day. The convenience cheeses, the spreads. The ones that almost wrecked my blood pressure, my gut, even my mood. And I'm going to tell you exactly which ones they were, so you don't make the same mistakes I did. Before I found those 4 good cheeses, I was making the same mistake millions of seniors still make today. I grabbed whatever was easy, whatever was cheap, whatever looked normal in the grocery store, and I paid the price. These next 4 cheeses almost wrecked my blood pressure, my gut, even my sleep. I hope you never make the same mistake. You know those individually wrapped cheese slices? I used to keep stacks of them in my fridge. So easy. Pop one on a sandwich, melt it on toast. I thought, hey, it's just cheese. But after a few months of eating them almost daily, I noticed my ankles swelling. My rings felt tighter. I couldn't figure out why. Then my doctor checked my sodium levels and shook his head. Those slices were loaded with sodium phosphate, way more harmful than regular salt. And here's the scary part. The emulsifiers and preservatives in those slices were silently messing with my gut bacteria, triggering inflammation all over my body. Some studies even show they contain hidden trans fats. Yes, even when the label says 0 grams. They're allowed to round down anything under 0.5 grams, and those little amounts add up. Looking back, I realize I wasn't eating real cheese. I was eating a processed chemical mix that looked like cheese. My blood pressure went up, my digestion went down, and I felt heavy all the time. There was a time I loved dipping crackers into those jarred cheese spreads. So smooth, so creamy, and it didn't even need refrigeration until opened. That should have been a red flag, but I didn't know better. I'd snack on it every evening while watching TV. Then I started feeling bloated all the time. I was sluggish. My stomach felt off. When I finally read the label, I was shocked. More modified starch, oils, and artificial colors than actual dairy. Most spreads use partially hydrogenated oils, basically trans fats that clog your arteries. And the sodium? Astronomical. One small serving had more than 500 milligrams. Worse, these spreads can contain phthalates, hormone-disrupting chemicals that leach from the plastic packaging. They're linked to metabolic problems and even cancer. And I was putting that into my body every single day. No wonder I felt worse with every jar. When my hands got stiff, I started buying pre-shredded cheese because it was easier than grating. It saved me time. Or so I thought. But for a few weeks, I was constantly bloated. My gut felt heavy, like it wasn't working right. I even started getting weird headaches after meals. Here's why. Pre-shredded cheese is coated with anti-caking agents, basically powdered cellulose, sometimes literally wood pulp, plus antifungals like natamycin. These additives stop it from clumping in the bag, but they also interfere with digestion and kill off good gut bacteria. The cheese quality is lower too, often made from milk with more hormones and antibiotics. And because the cheese is shredded, it oxidizes faster, losing nutrients and creating harmful compounds. I thought I was saving time, but I was actually paying with my gut health. I'll admit, I used to love the sharp, tangy taste of blue cheese on my salads. It felt fancy, like a treat. But one evening after dinner, I had a pounding headache. My heart was racing, my blood pressure shot up. I didn't connect it at first, until it happened again, and again. Later, I learned blue cheese is packed with tyramine and histamines, compounds that can trigger migraines, anxiety, even dangerously high blood pressure in sensitive people, especially if you're on certain medications. It also contains mold toxins called mycotoxins. While they're safe in small amounts, they can accumulate in your body over time. Add to that its super high sodium and inflammatory fats. And I realized this special treat was quietly poisoning my system. The worst part? The strong flavor masks when it's gone bad. You could eat spoiled blue cheese without knowing, and end up in the ER with food poisoning. I never touched it again after that, so yes, I learned the hard way. Cheese can heal, or it can hurt. It depends on the choice you make in the aisle. Those processed slices, spreads, pre-shredded bags, and blue cheeses nearly wrecked my health. But aged Gouda, real Parmesan, Raw Cheddar, and Swiss Gruyère helped me feel stronger, calmer, clearer than I had in years. And here's the bigger lesson I learned. Choosing the right food after 60 isn't just about taste. It's about your future. And here's the bigger lesson I learned. Choosing the right food after 60 isn't just about taste. It's about your future. So here's what I want you to remember. Cheese isn't the villain. But it's not all a friend either. The right cheese can protect your heart, strengthen your bones, calm your inflammation, even sharpen your mind. The wrong cheese. It can quietly raise your blood pressure, wreck your gut, and even increase your cancer risk. I learned this the hard way, through swollen ankles, restless nights, and frightening lab results. But I also learned that changing just a few choices on my plate could change the way I feel every single day after 60. So next time you're in the cheese aisle, pause. Don't grab the easiest one. Think about the years ahead of you. Think about living with more energy, more clarity, more independence. And now I'd love to hear from you. What's the one cheese you could never give up, even after hearing this? Or have you ever noticed a cheese affecting your health, for better or worse? Share your story in the comments below. You never know who it might help. If you found this helpful, please give it a like. Share it with a friend or family member who loves cheese as much as you do, and subscribe for more real, science-backed tips to help you live healthier and longer after 60. Because at the end of the day, it's not about giving things up. It's about choosing the things that truly help you live better, not worse. Share your story in the comments below. You never know who it might help. If you found this helpful, please give it a like. Share it with a friend or family member who loves cheese as much as you do, and subscribe for more real, science-backed tips to help you live healthier and longer after 60.